Good morning, dear students. How are you? I hope you all are fine. I am Sanjay Shah, your physics teacher. I want to welcome you all in my third day virtual class. I will discuss physics part of science book. There are altogether 6 chapters in physics. We are continuing our course from chapter 4, that is gravity and gravitation. We are near the end of the chapter. Today we are going to complete the theoretical portion of the chapter. After this we will discuss about the solving of numerical problems in the next class. Before starting the third day session of the chapter, I must thank your active participation in the classes. It is good to see that many of you have submitted your assignments. But till now, there are some students who haven't submitted the assignments till now. So please submit it on time. And also try to involve your other friends in the classes. Now let us begin the session with a difference. The difference is the difference between gravity and acceleration due to gravity. In the previous class we have discussed about gravity and acceleration due to gravity. Gravity is the force exerted by any heavenly body on an object. If there is any object within the gravitational field of the earth pulls that object towards its center. The pulling force of the earth is called Earth's gravity. Similarly, when an object is dropped from certain height, it falls down with a velocity. The velocity goes on increasing due to the force of gravity, and it causes acceleration to the object. The acceleration thus produced in the object is called acceleration due to gravity. The unit of gravity is same as that of force, that is Newton. The unit of acceleration due to gravity, as it is acceleration, so its unit is also meter per second square in SI system. Now moving to the next topic. Prove mathematically that acceleration due to gravity is independent upon mass of an object. Before it we have learnt feather coin experiment, that is acceleration due to gravity is independent upon mass of an object experimentally. Now mathematically this is done by Sir Isaac Newton. Now let's draw a figure. It is a heavenly body. An object is placed on the surface of heavenly body. The distance between their centers is capital R, because the size of object is too small in comparison to the size of heavenly body, and that can be negligible. So D is R. Okay, so now from Newton's law of gravitation, the gravitational force between two objects. Here are also two objects, mass of heavenly body, mass of an object. So two objects, so gravitational force exists between them, and that's why the formula of gravitational force is F equals to G m1 m2 by d square. Here we can consider m1 as the mass of heavenly body, m2 the mass of the object, and distance between them as r. By replacing this with the values, then we'll get F equals to gmm by r square, G capital M small m by r square. From Newton's, let's suppose it as equation 1. From Newton's second law of motion, we have learned F equals to ma. A is the acceleration. Here F equals to mg. G is the acceleration or acceleration due to gravity. Let's assume it as equation 2. Now combining 1 and 2, we get and small m will cancel. That means G equals to gm by r square. Now, so from this formula we can say the acceleration due to gravity does not depend upon the mass of an object small m, because in this formula there is no small m. Now let's prove acceleration due to gravity is inversely proportional to the square of radius of the heavenly body. We all are well known capital G, that is the universal gravitational constant, or simply gravitational constant, is a constant value and its value does not change from place to place. Capital M, mass of heavenly body, and for particular heavenly body it won't change, but R may change. For example, for the earth, polar radius, equatorial radius, they are different, but its mass remains same. So to change equality sign into proportionality, we have to recall how we used to change proportionality sign into equality. To change proportionality sign in equality, we put one equal to and a constant. Here G and M are constant, so their product is constant. So in equal to and the constant can be replaced by proportional sign, and it will be like this. This relation tells us that acceleration due to gravity is inversely proportional to the square of radius of the heavenly body, and hence it is proved. Acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth. So the earth is not perfectly spherical in shape. You can see in the figure, it is flattened at the poles and bulged at the equator. Its polar radius is less than equatorial radius, or we can say its equatorial radius is more than the polar radius, and the acceleration due to gravity is inversely proportional to square of its radius. So the value of acceleration due to gravity is more at the place having less radius, and vice versa. It means the value of acceleration due to gravity will be more at the place having less radius, will be less in the place having more radius. So the value of G is more at the poles because of less radius than the equator because of more radius. And acceleration due to gravity more means the acceleration of falling object is more. So an object reaches to the surface of the poles faster than the equator because of more value of acceleration due to gravity at the poles. More acceleration due to gravity, more change in velocity. Okay, now we should not forget about that there is no relation between mass of an object and acceleration due to gravity. Just what we have proved previously, we know that. So therefore same acceleration is produced on different object dropping at the same place. Acceleration due to gravity at height. Here it is acceleration due to gravity, that is denoted by G, and H is subscript written for height. Let's see the figure. Here Mass of heavenly body is capital M. Radius of heavenly body or the earth is capital